Gentlemen, sorry for interrupting. I'm looking for my student.
Hey man, the locker room is full. You shouldn't even be here.
Look, guys, I don't want any trouble.
If I were you, I'd turn around and get the fuck out of here.
In the opening scene, Henry returns to Hong Kong after serving in the US military for several years. Seeking a new path, he visits his former school, Tak Chi Secondary, with the hope of beginning a career as a teacher. The principal expresses concern about Henry's lack of teaching experience but, upon reviewing a strong recommendation letter from a high-ranking official, decides to hire him. Before Henry departs, the principal warns him that the class he's been assigned is among the most problematic in the entire school. On his first day, Henry enters the classroom to find complete disorder. Some students are asleep, others are singing or gaming, and several are even cooking instant noodles on a portable stove. Despite his presence, the students blatantly ignore him. Henry attempts to get their attention, but they pretend not to notice. Realizing direct confrontation won't work, he walks around the room, casually commenting on their activities. He advises the students cooking ramen to cut back due to the high sodium content. He then approaches a boy named Zufa, who's playing a ukulele, and offers some guidance. He warns another student, engrossed in a handheld game, about potential radiation exposure. Once he gains a shred of their attention, Henry writes his name and phone number on the board. The class bursts into laughter over his poor handwriting. Someone calls him during class and mockingly tells him to leave, but Henry brushes it off with a laugh. The class resumes its chaos. Having had enough, Henry uses a rubber band and a piece of chalk to trigger the fire sprinklers. The students scatter to avoid getting soaked. With the room in silence, Henry seizes the moment to formally welcome them to his class. Later that day, 5 of the school's most troublesome students gather in the sports supply room to smoke. Their leader, Jack, has a crush on a high-achieving girl from another class. The group teases him when they catch him staring at her photo. They also harbor a bitter rivalry with the school's wealthy and arrogant basketball team. The team members barge into the room to mock Jack for his poverty. During basketball practice, Jack drops a bottle on the court, causing the team captain to fall. The group laughs, but Miss Liang, the English teacher, assigns them detention. To avoid it, they prank her and run off while she's distracted. Meanwhile, the principal is stressed about an upcoming inspection by the Education Board, which is considering slashing the school's annual funding by 20%. Inspectors soon arrive to assess how funds are being used. At the same time, Henry walks into the classroom unaware of a prank, a water bucket rigged to fall on him. His reflexes kick in just in time, and he deflects the bucket, stunning the students. He then confronts Jack, asking for his cigarette pack. Jack curiously hands it over. Henry asks Zufa to name 3 ingredients found in cigarettes. When Zufa answers correctly, Henry lets him skip class, prompting the rest of the students to clamor for the same opportunity. He then hands out cigarettes to the entire class, not to smoke, but to analyze. Rather than lecture them about the dangers of smoking, he asks thought-provoking questions about its long-term effects, like tar buildup in the lungs. For the first time, the class listens intently. When the bell rings, he collects the cigarettes back. The students comply, reluctantly. In the cafeteria that day, the basketball team's captain trips Bruce, one of Jack's friends. A heated argument erupts between the two groups, escalating into a full-blown food fight that wrecks the dining hall. Henry later learns that 5 of his students have been suspended over the incident. He finds Jack mid-fight in the hallway and intervenes. Jack vents his frustration, accusing the school of favoring the wealthy students who never face consequences. In the following scene, Jack works as a waiter at a restaurant. A shady MMA gambler named Jen Ying arrives with his associates. While Jen is distracted, Jack steals his expensive lighter but is quickly caught. Jen's men beat him and check his ID. Upon learning Jack is a student, Jen surprisingly hands him money and offers him a job as a food delivery boy. Later, Jack continues working for Jen Ying, who pressures him to drug a fighter's drink in an upcoming match. Though hesitant, Jack gives in. On fight day, Jen sponsors one fighter but secretly bets on his opponent. Jack attempts to drug the drink but is caught and beaten. Before he can expose Jen, he's locked in a locker. Henry arrives at the venue searching for Jack. The fighters try to dismiss him, but Jack calls for help from inside the locker.
Any more? Come and get some.
First round!
Later, at the hospital, Henry is treated for his injuries. Jack tries to expose Jen Ying, but is silenced. Despite attempts to bury the story, the media picks it up. Henry becomes a local hero, the teacher who beat a professional fighter to save his student. His reputation soars, and students begin to show him genuine respect. A flashback reveals that Henry himself was a troublemaker in school. He once disrupted a piano performance by throwing water balloons and later broke a student's hand in a fight, which led to his suspension and departure for the US. Now, his students begin to study seriously for their college entrance exams. All show improvement, except Bruce, who has fallen into pill addiction. Unlike Chris, who used work as an escape, Bruce succumbed to substance abuse. He fails his mock exams and becomes increasingly withdrawn, eventually attempting suicide by jumping from his home's balcony. Rushed to the hospital, Bruce falls into a coma. The media blames Henry and the school. The education board holds Henry responsible and revokes his teaching license. As he packs to leave, the students plead with him to stay. Heartbroken, they vow to succeed in the exam to prove his worth. Determined, the students double their efforts. On exam day, Jack and his classmates receive a fake message, allegedly from Henry, asking them to meet at the school an hour early. It's a trap set by Jen Ying to prevent them from taking the exam. Henry arrives, uncovers the scheme, and fights off Jen Ying's men while the students escape. During the final showdown, Jen reveals he was the student Henry once injured, causing him to miss a major piano competition and abandon music. He blames Henry for destroying his dream. Henry apologizes sincerely and walks away, refusing to retaliate further. The students make it to the exam on time and complete it successfully. Weeks later, the results arrive, they all pass with flying colors. Jen Ying, inspired, begins playing piano again, though he's far from his former skill. Bruce recovers and vows to take the next year's exam. The principal receives great news: the school will receive a 20% bonus in funding, thanks to the outstanding results. Henry returns to teaching and, in a nod to his first class, triggers the sprinklers for a new group of unruly students. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.